Today we are going to talk about Treasure Islands, a mod made by Hello Team and led by the 3-time winner of ModCon, Noxid. Every time Noxid brings a new mod to the table, either as a lead developer or solo developer, albeit how rare it is to see work by him, it's never a disappointment in the end. With his work on King, Strife, and Sacrifice, and his team effort on Hacker Story, it's been shown that he's both comfortable modifying the technical aspects of the game, as well as making something more in line with how the engine was originally made. Treasure Islands was created for ModCon 2017, and to continue his winning streak, it took first place. In at least my opinion, it deserves to be held in this spot, along with the Greats as one of the best mods ever made. It's just this amazing little gem of consistently good game. It introduced new mechanics at a good rate, the music is nice, the art is even better, and how it's all wrapped together so incredibly coherently is just amazing. Now, diving right into the mod, you play as a pirate girl, and you go around and you dig up treasure. You sail around the map to different islands, collect clues, and dig up treasure. It's a nice, charming mod that you get to run around in and play for about a 2-hour enjoyable experience. Also, I'm gonna say this again, the art and music are just great, saying this outright, especially for Cave Story mods. Hello Team really outdid themselves in these aspects, and definitely went the extra mile. It's only a small handful of songs and a couple new tile sets, but giving a new palette and new sound to the game really helps it out in this regard, especially considering that these are all original assets, and not just stolen from some other classic video game you've played. Now, the mechanics in this game play a little bit differently than the original Cave Story does, mostly dealing with how you only have a melee weapon and you have to swing your sword to hit things instead of shooting a gun. This makes combat quite more difficult in some aspects, such as not being able to knock out critters from long range, but actually having to get up and do melee combat with them. But honestly, this game feels different in a lot more ways than that. Yes, it feels like a Cave Story game a bit, but it's really its own breed of almost branching out to be, in many aspects, just a straight-up indie game that you would find online. It feels very standalone and not like other Cave Story mods, where you can just tell it's Cave Story. From the physics to the gameplay to the witty dialogue and how puzzle solving is played out, it all feels very different. This mod really is the whole package when it comes to CS mods, or really game development in general. It's really hard to compete with something like this, and it's certainly proved its point when it scored first place in the mod competition. Instead of sending you on a linear path, it makes you explore islands in any or almost any order that you would ever want, and it hands out clues that would let you access old areas on new islands just by showing you new paths that were always in front of you. This design choice, in my opinion, is really cool and works well. It might make you do some backtracking, and it makes you remember what islands you went to, but it never really gets boring. You only explore a small section of the old parts of the island, and you get to that, I never noticed that before, where you discover what was already there as the clues provide you. It's not like you can't get to any of these secret areas, but without having the clues, there'd be absolutely no way, like digging in this seemingly random spot without knowing that these 2 pillars are supposed to be here. In the game, you grab various items, along with just some plain old treasure. Some mandatory for completion, and others just there for a gag, so there's something to grab, lol. I didn't ever find all the items, but I found most of them, and it wasn't too much trouble to find them, but those last 2 really got me stuck. But I found most of them, and it wasn't too much trouble. The bosses are also really nice in this mod, even though some of them were just plain old vanilla enemies. With the physics change and your weapon changes, it feels a lot different and never got stale. Also, the use of this thing to fire bullets out of it to hit the boss was great. Really creative stuff. I swear I've seen these balance pads before somewhere. Well, and with that, that pretty much wraps up my thoughts on Treasure Island. Another great mod to add to the collection. Shoutouts to the entire dev team on this project. I'm definitely putting this in the greats of CS mods, and I can't wait to see what happens this upcoming ModCon. I'll be expecting. And with that, this is B-Link, and I pray for your victory.